Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're hearing my voice from. Today is the 2nd of January 2022, and it's the first Sunday of the year. We give God the glory, we give Him the adoration. It's by His grace and mercy that we're all alive and able to witness this new year. Today, I'm going to talk about the topic for today says walk with God. And are you ready to walk with God? We want to look at people in the Bible that walked with God. We're talking of Enoch that walked with God. The Bible says in the book of Genesis chapter 5 verse 22 to 24, it talks about Enoch walking with God. And you know the kind of relationship they had, God did not even allow him to see death. It was taken away. The Bible talks about Noah during its own generation in the book of Genesis chapter 6 verse 9. You know, it talks about during his generation, he was a righteous man and he walked with God. So when we say walk with God, you know, there are some things that we have to do. We have to make sacrifices. We have to deny ourselves some certain things. That is why it's so hard for so many of us to walk with God. You know, we walk today, tomorrow we are out of it. Today we have to be consistent, just like Enoch and Noah. They were so many men, great men. I mean, Abraham too, they were consistent with it, you know, walking with God. So we have to be, as Christians, to be consistent with it. And you know, there's no requirements. There's no qualification. You don't have to be educated. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to have all the money in the world. Just come as you are. You know, if you are honest and your heart is pure, you know you really want to walk with God, come the way you are. And God Himself is going to do the transformation. God Himself is the one that will work on us. As long as we are ready, God is ready to work with us. He is ready to walk with us, but are we ready to walk with God? This is a new year. This is a new beginning. So we have to make a decision. Are we ready to walk with God? What has God placed in your hands? And you know, you do it, you stop and everything. I'm talking to myself too, because this video, I've not done it for a long time, but you know, I've not had peace of mind because, you know, the Lord keeps telling me I have to do this thing. And so many topics that He gives, I just write it down and I don't come to do it. But now I said, God, I want to walk with you this year. It has to be different. It doesn't matter. And we can't say because we don't have everything that we are seeking the face of God for. He has done more than enough for us. For the mere fact that you are breathing, that is enough. So we can't say, well, I'm waiting for my car. I'm waiting for the new job. I'm waiting to have my babies. When God bless me with children, when He bless me with my own husband, with my own house, with that house that I'm praying for, that is when you're ready to walk with Him. No. Even when you don't have all those things, we should be ready to walk with God. And when we walk with God, there are sacrifices too. The Bible talks about it. Even in Matthew chapter 16 verse 24. Then Jesus said unto His disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. There are so many, you have to deny yourself of so many things. People will turn against you. People will talk about you. So are you going to follow or listen to what people are saying? It's between you and God, not man. When Enoch was walking with God, I'm sure there were so many talks. People were making fun of him and everything, but he was focused. He knew his purpose. His purpose was to fellowship with God. So he continued. The same thing with Noah. We read the Bible, even when he was building the ark and everything, he still continued. It did not stop. So when we want to walk with God, we have to be determined. We have to know that there will be obstacles. Even in your midst, even the brethren that you pray, that you fast, that you do everything together, they will talk behind you. They will mock. They will do, but they don't understand the assignment you have. Everybody has got a different assignment from God. So they don't understand, and you want to walk with God. So and you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be, when you start walking with God, God will start doing the transformation. If you are sincere in your heart that you really, really want to walk with God, God will start doing the transformation Himself. And you yourself, you will notice, you see a difference. It will start those things that you don't need in your life, that will be an hindrance. Gradually, the Lord will start taking it off. But we have to be determined. Are we ready to walk with God this year? Or we are waiting for that car. We are waiting for that husband. We're waiting for that wife. We are waiting for the children. We are waiting for the billions to come before we make that decision. It's left to you, you know. We have a choice. God didn't force Enoch to walk with Him. He didn't even force Noah. They had an encounter, and I'm sure they were like, oh no, I would rather stick with this. I love what I'm saying, because I'm sure God must have showed them things. There must have been revelations and so many things. And you can only acquire that if you walk with God. You can only get access to that if we walk with God. But if we don't walk with God, we can't see all those things. What we'll be seeing will be limited, or we'll be hearing from people telling us. But if we choose and decide to walk with us, to walk with God, we will see the hand of God in our life. There will be a difference. There will be a difference. No matter what people say, like, oh, she doesn't have this, he doesn't have this, so was it thanking God for? Was it? No. It is you. It's the relationship is between you and God. God is ever ready to walk with us. Even in the Garden of Eden, the Bible made us to understand that God comes down in the cool of the evening to walk with Adam before Adam took another route. And he made a choice, like, I don't want to. Adam was actually walking with God, but he made a choice of not walking with God again. So what do we want to do? This is a new year. Are we going to walk with God? And we are not just going to do it for a limited time, for 2 hours, for 5 months. It's going to be hard. I mean, there will be obstacles and everything. But if we stay focused on Jesus, and we know the person we are walking with, you know you are not walking by yourself. You're walking with God, and God is walking with you. And like the Bible says, can two walk together except they agree? So you have to agree with God. For that walk to be meaningful, you have to agree. And we don't have to look at what we are going to lose at the end of the day. Those things you are looking at, you are going to lose. You are getting something far, far better than that, the salvation of your soul. And it doesn't mean that if you walk with God, that God is not going to bless us with material things. No, it didn't say that. So we can't just assume that, oh, when I start working with God, I'm not going to have this. No. But are we ready to walk with God? Are we ready to do that which God has called us for? The assignment God has placed in your hand. Are you ready to do it? On that day, when you stand before God, it's going to be between you and God. When God starts asking you questions, it's not going to be, well, I couldn't do it because this person was mad with me, because this person, well, I didn't have, you didn't give me the money, you didn't give me the card. There's no excuse, because God has equipped us already. All we have to do is walk with Him. And that potentials in you, God will start showing you. You start saying it. And we'll be able to fulfill our destiny. Our purpose in life is to walk with God. And when we start walking with God, God will equip us for us to be able to fulfill the assignment which He has given to us. I hope I've been able to pass the little message